Well, good morning, everyone, or wherever you are in the world. It might actually be bedtime for all I know. I'm here in Hillsborough, which is the town I live in, and I'm not at work today. But I've got a to-do list that's 30 items long with work stuff. But I thought I'd cycle to the coffee shop, get myself some coffee, and a piece of pie because it's pie day today. And for the rest of the week, I've been eating Soylent or drinking Soylent for breakfast every day. So I'm treating myself to a mixed berry pie. I haven't had one of these from this shop for a really long time. So while I'm drinking my coffee and I'm just catching up, I thought I'd have a bit of a good morning to everybody. How is everybody? How is everybody today? Did you enjoy the short shorts in Transport Evolved yesterday? I did. I thought it was really good. Soylent is banned in Canada. I don't know how I feel about it. Why is it banned? It is essentially a protein shake. It was very good to meet you at Fully Charged. I'm hoping to do another one of those in the near future. In fact, you know what? That's another thing I need to put on my list. I need to remember to reach out to the team at Fully Charged because I'm supposed to be having a meeting with them and I've forgotten. No, not Soylent Green. Why would I eat Soylent Green?
Well,
it's people.
Right.
So, I'm not joking about my long list, by the way. All right. Reach out to Fully Charged about that. On my list of things to do. So my list has just got bigger. Such is life. Anywho, it's been a crazy week in the world of EVs. Do I still need access to a gigabit connection? Yes, if there's one available. Yes, if there's one available. The problem is every time I disconnect my connection, turn my machine off, turn my server off, it starts again. Probably because it uses people. Yeah, Soylent probably uses people. But I'm on the border of becoming vegetarian again, which is something I'm really excited about. Oh no, there's a wasp. It's on the way. It can smell my breakfast. Which is not a good thing. And I can't go inside because I have my bike with me. So there we go. So, what do you think of all these new cars that are coming? Yes, please do that, and we'll see how it goes. But it needs to be synchronous. Go away, wasp. Too late. There's wasps everywhere around. It is. Go away. I'm allergic to you. Go away. I can see you on my head. This might be translated to Nikki runs away from a wasp. I can't hear it anymore. I think it just flew into the window. So, this is going to be me staring at a wasp. Soylent Green was a science fiction movie. Very good science fiction movie, actually. It was set in a dystopian future. So a dystopian future where the population got so huge that we couldn't feed people using traditional methods of food. And so everybody ended up having this Soylent Green. And at the end of the movie, it's revealed that Soylent Green is people. EV reporter confirms that she eats people. Well, I have Soylent, right? But I don't have Soylent Green. Maybe the green is the human bit. Maybe that's the bit that we... Right now I'm having berries. All right, brain. Will a question. All right, will a three-phase cable work with a single-phase charger? Are we talking about the three-phase Type 2 connector? Is that what you're asking about? So you're asking about the physical, if I plug a three-phase cable into a single phase, yeah, it would work. If we're talking about a Renault Zoe, definitely. Let's see if this works on the way home in the UK. Well, hello from Portland, Oregon. It's raining, well, not raining, but BMW i3. It should work, because as far as I'm aware, the i3 doesn't have three-phase capability, so it does nothing on those pins. If there's nothing connecting to the pins, or are you talking about the AC chargers that you see at motorway service stations and you want to use one of those? Because if you want to use a rapid charger to charge a BMW i3 and it's an AC rapid charger, I'd advise against using it, because it's just rude. There's a Model 3 just up there. It's how common they are over here, look. Right there. You can see it, you can see it right next to the... You thought the i3 had 11 kilowatt capability? I don't believe so. Unless the American specs are different to the US, to the European ones. Oh, well. That is true. It's kind of Rolls-Royce money. Which is a shame. It really is. Hi, Wasp. Guess what? You can have all of my food, because I finished it. But you can't have my coffee. My coffee is mine. Sorry, I was just gulping that down because that's stupid. Why did I pick something that was really sweet and attracts wasps and sit outside? It does have 11 kilowatts. The i3 does. Well, in which case, yes, go right ahead. Go right ahead. That's something I didn't know. Put that in the brain for things I didn't know. Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. And welcome. Hello to you from wherever you are. You're in California right now. The 130 kilowatt hour battery is a big one. I would say, though, I've got to say, would you really want 130 kilowatt hours to travel around with all the time? I just thought a wasp had landed on my arm. I'm being paranoid about my wasps now. So, I mean, I'm a fan of small batteries that can be recharged more quickly. And I think, honestly, in the future, we're going to be looking at batteries that offer 200 miles of range, but can recharge in 10 minutes or 15 minutes. You have an 11 kilowatt wall box with your i3. I wish that we could get that here. Three-phase power over here is something you generally only get if you have a workshop in your garage, or you have an industrial facility. Most homes have it. We just don't actually use it, if that makes sense. It's the way it works. That's how I understand it. I don't really understand wiring systems because the coloring is very different and strange. And actually, it's a small kind of anecdote. I was wiring up a charging station once, or a cable for a charging station, and I used the British. On one end, when I started it, I was very careful and I read the correct wiring codes for the United States, and so I wired it according to the correct wiring codes. But then I switched to kind of an old British wiring code system, and it meant that I'd switched things around, and that's why it wasn't working. I think it's, I don't know. I'm not ready to answer that one, David, because I don't know enough about it. You'll have to ask the wonderful Kate Walton-Elliott, who, as I understand it, is at work this morning. Or did she work yesterday? I can't remember. She's a healthcare professional. She does things. Thank you, Jeff. Jack, even. I need more coffee. Thank you, Jack, for subbed. You do get a shout out. There you go. You get a shout out. Thank you to everyone who's watched the channel this week. It's been a little bit crazy. We've had probably somewhere in the region of 60 to 70,000 views a day. Jack Niehoff. There you go, Jack. Jack Niehoff. Just because you wanted me to hear it. You wanted to hear me saying it. It's a very funny joke. It's very, very funny. Like a friend of mine who was once asked what name they wanted me to put on the, somebody was asking, it wasn't me, it was someone else, was asking what name they wanted to put on credits for a thing. And they said, Mike Hawk. Say that quick. There you go, 24 AC and homes are not only single phase. Thank you, learn something new every day. I'm not an electrician. Excuse me. Just waiting for that truck to come in. It's very loud. It's diesel. You had to break off 10 to see the live stream. Oh dear. Have you got to the short shorts yet? Tell me if you've got to the short shorts, because the short shorts are good. I do like the short shorts. The short shorts are fun. I like those. It's all these different battery designs coming out. It's a bit like the early days of the car itself. A lot of approaches and different experiments. Yeah, it's true. I mean, if you think about the first internal combustion engine cars, they had to be filled with certain fuels in certain points. So I used to supply a fleet of cars to a guy called Mike Hunt. True story. There you go. The short shorts are actually fun and informative. Please keep them. Well, one of the things that we're going to do when we get Erin on next week is that we're going to give her some new jobs, and one of them is going to be to create some video effects to go with that. So that's the first time I think I've actually mentioned the name of our new hire. Her name is Erin. She's very sweet. And would you like to see the Model 3? Here we go. If you're in the UK, which I think a lot of you are, right there. See, Model 3. Of course, if you live in my part of the world, they are really, you see them everywhere. That's a nice. I like that blue color. That is. It is a good-looking car. I didn't used to think it was, but now the revision, and now I've got used to it. I like it. I like it. I just wish it was a hatchback. I do think it. I wish it was a hatchback. Seek out a licensed electrician about getting three-phase service for the home. One of the things that we're going to do when we build our house, if we build our house, we're still at kind of this point where we're deciding whether we buy or whether we build. If we buy, obviously we're going to, there's one place we're looking at that has three-phase power and all of those other things. And then we're also going to look at maybe buying a building. So there we go. How did the Chesed Fund get in touch with you? They just reached out. They'd seen the channel and they'd worked with some other YouTubers in previous years promoting the raffle, and they wanted to work with me. And so they did. And it was a paid promotion. So, you know, I had editorial control over the script, so I didn't have to say anything I didn't want to. And you should know that I won't say, if I ever do an advert, I'm not going to advertise something that I don't think is a good idea. So there we go. Recently, there's been a lot of orders of electric city buses in Sweden, mostly BYD. I would love to come and see some of those. And of course, one of the things, more people on board. I'm going to have to move this way because it's raining. I'm not putting this on because I'm running away. I'm putting this on because it's raining. I need to move some things over. So It is now raining, which is always the case. You know, why would it rain? It's going to rain while I'm doing, you know, this outside filmy thing. How's the charging infrastructure going in Oregon, Washington? Can you hire an electric car in Oregon? Can you charge in Wheeler Country yet? Kind of a joke. I don't think you can charge in Wheeler Country yet, but you can hire a car, electric cars in Oregon, I believe, you know, through peer-to-peer services and whatnot. So yes, back to the kind of the changes coming up. So Transport Evolved has now got to a point where it can get 2 or 3 people working with us, hopefully, what we're going to do in the future. But we're going to start small. So we're starting with one person. Her name is Erin. She's going to come in and help us 2 mornings a week. So she's doing 10 hours a week. And hopefully she'll be able to help increase what we do. And that will be really helpful. And the Model 3 is now going bye-bye. So off it goes. And that means that we should be able to start producing some more content. Initially, we're going to focus on varying our content a little bit, and then we're going to start producing more content as well. All right. Maybe achievable with a transformer, but probably not, because it would consume more current, more kilowatt hours. Yeah, probably. And a Bolt just turned up. So the Model 3 Bolt just turned up. So it shows you kind of what it's like in this part of the world. There's an electric car everywhere. It's kind of quite nice. What do I think of the Bird and Lime electric scooters floating around the Santa Monica? I think that's what you're supposed to say. Santa Monica and Los Angeles. I haven't tried them yet, but guess what? We've got 3 different electric scooter firms now in Portland, and I'm working on a special video on that. I'm not ready to kind of release details of it, but my goal is that we're going to do something a little Top Geary, like it or loathe it, involving those scooters. How is Electrify America, the Volkswagen enforcement program, going? Are they putting in many charge stations? Well, there are 2 or 3 going in Oregon that I'm aware of. There are some live in some parts of the world. I'm hoping that the ones in California and Oregon that are going to be going live are going to be going live soon. Because as I'm sure some of you will remember, when I went to Reno, Nevada earlier this year, I had to use 25 kilowatt charging stations all the way down to Reno, Nevada. Well, not all the way, certainly until I got to Redding in California. And so charging a Bolt EV at 20 kilowatts, which is the effective rate, is really slow, really slow, really slow indeed. So hopefully if we can charge at 50 kilowatts, it's going to be easier. And we're driving to CES in Vegas in January in the Bolt EV. Is the best way to contact you personally through the Form on the 10 website? No, that's broken, and it's purposely broken because we got so much hate mail that we broke it. So you can use the contact us email listed on YouTube. That's probably the best way of doing it. Have I had a chance to test the Model 3? Yes, I have. I did a video on it. Have you not watched it? Go watch it. I mean, not now, but if you go onto the Transport Evolved YouTube channel, it's there. It's very good. So if you go to the YouTube channel for Transport Evolved and you look for Tesla Model 3 review, we've got a is the Tesla Model 3 revolutionary? No, it's just an awesome car. And I still stand by that kind of definition because it's not bringing anything new to the table that I think the S and the X didn't already have. And it's not really brought the price down yet. When it's available for less, then maybe it will be revolutionary. But the Tesla that was revolutionary was the Roadster, the original Roadster, because it changed people's opinions about what an electric car could be. Will the Kona take over the small EV crossover market because it doesn't have any competition? I can see it being a major competitor for the Model Y. It depends. Hyundai has not made... I'm so paranoid about pronouncing that word now because I've spoken to Korean people who say it's Hyundai.
Anyway, as I was saying, they don't make that many EVs. They've not generally had a high output of EVs, and I think that's partly because of battery contracts and not having the volume of batteries that they need. Maybe it's an interest, I don't know. And so it's going to be interesting. If they make enough of them, yes, sure, it's really going to take over. And John, I could hug you because people tease me about saying Hyundai, but that's how we say it in England, and you're backing me up. Thank you. Good morning, Kia. I am at home today. Maybe we can go sewing tomorrow. Talk to me. She knows what I mean. I've got to be her seamstress. Do you think that it's fair the way that Tesla disowns its salvage owners? Well, okay, so there are two separate ways of thinking about this. So as a Brit, coming from the UK, we have some pretty strict laws about cars being written off. And well, I'm half Canadian as well, Jaden, so there's no hope for me. I've got a 100% cultural excuse for saying Hyundai, my Canadian and British heritage. So there you go. So back to the Tesla, and there's a wasp. Go away, wasp. What do I think about Tesla disowning its salvage owners? Okay, so in the UK, it's pretty strict if you write a car off. There are different categories of insurance write-offs. So there's one that's for the financial things. Go away. Don't sit on my bicycle. Sod off. Thank you. There are different categories of insurance write-offs, and some of them allow you to bring the vehicle back on the road, and some of them actually ban the vehicle from ever being used again, and even from being broken down with parts, which is very interesting. So I think in America, some of the things that have happened wouldn't be allowed in other countries, and I think we have to acknowledge that it's one thing if the car has reached a point where it's structurally unsound and it's proven to be structurally unsound, then yes, I would say don't allow it to be rebuilt. But that's a legislative matter, not a support matter. Tesla is trying to take matters into its own hands and effectively rewrite legislation about those things. So I don't know. I don't think it's fair. If every other automaker did it, I might think differently. But there we go. How many miles on the clock do you have on the Bolt? Should we find out? Because I've got some great news on that front. All right, so my Chevrolet. Are there any staff car updates? But a flood car, I mean, again, I think it's on a case-by-case basis. I know I'm being a bit wishy-washy on this, but I think that Tesla is wrong. I think Tesla should be supporting it. And that poor guy in New Zealand, I feel really sorry for him because he got approved that everything was okay when it wasn't. All right, I've got 15,000. Ignore the tyre warnings because the car's been sat in the garage all week. 15,670 on my clock on my Bolt EV. And how many miles should I have? Well, that's a really good question. Right now, I should have 15,745. So I am in credit in my mileage on the Bolt EV. I clawed that back from being over like 16, 17, well, no, nearly 2,000 miles at one point. So there we go. Are there any staff car updates? Yes, I've been bugging Kate for one for both of her fleet up in Washington, but she's been busy, and her wife are trying to get their house finished before the winter. They've got house inspection coming up soon so that they can actually move into the bloody thing. And down here, we've been busy. With any luck, there will be a Nissan Leaf update on Sunday, filmed, as well as a Chevrolet Bolt update filmed on Sunday, because it's on my list. It's on, you know that long list I said I had? It's on that long list of things to do, my long list. And included on that long list is filming the staff car update for both cars because it's 3 years since we bought the Leaf. The Leaf used, it was since we bought it. So it's now 5 years old. And it's just over a year since we got the Bolt. So it's a really good time to do that. Have I noticed any battery degradation on the Bolt? None whatsoever. I cannot fault the battery on the Bolt. I cannot fault the Bolt, really. It's been a really fabulous car. The only thing perhaps that's nagged me a little bit is that Chevy, just like any other automaker today, has some issues with the paint, but that's to do with regulatory stuff more than anything. Ooh, that Honda beeped at me. And it beeped at me again. Hello, Honda. Is there any news on the long-range Leaf? Several people have been asking me this. Okay, so the long-range Leaf is as follows. As I understand it, we're going to stick the 2019 Leaf will be coming out soon, but the 2019 Leaf will be the same as the 2018 Leaf, maybe with a few tweaks and nips and tucks. It will not have a long-range battery pack. And then next year, early next year, we hope we will hear, or we will have, the 2019 Nissan Leaf E Plus will be launched. And the E Plus will have a longer battery pack at a higher price tag and a more powerful motor. And they will be sold, as I understand it, side by side. A bit like the 24 and the 30 kilowatt hour Leafs were sold side by side for a while there as well. I wish the Bolt was available in the UK, so do I. So there you go. This coffee is really good. So I'm at a place, by the way, if you live locally, this is a place called Insomnia Coffee. It's great. They do. They actually own the roasting company next door, or rather, the roasting company owns Insomnia Coffee. They've got like 2 or 3 shops in the northwest side of town, and they're really nice. I love them. They're really good coffee. They really care about the coffee. I mean, this is Portland, which, you know, next to Seattle is coffee lovers' paradise, really.
I'll do that.
Will the active thermal management come to both battery sizes on the Leaf? I do not believe so. I think, I was just trying to see what that was. I think we are going to see, the existing 40 kilowatt hour battery pack remain for the smaller capacity Leaf, at least for a while, because they've got this contract they've got to satisfy in terms of production. Any more rumors on the bigger battery for the i3? No, but BMW has been really good. I mean, if, you know, when we joke about BMW drivers, we joke about, you know, BMW as a brand, but I've got to say, BMW's done really well with how it's treated its customers with battery upgrades, etc., etc. The one criticism I have is that BMW doesn't want to let i3 Rex owners up to me. Might launch a Corsa EV. I really hope so. I've heard that on the pipe. You know, I've heard that in the rumor mill for many weeks now. So fingers crossed. But yes. So, oh no, I am breaking.
How's she doing with that? Well,
So battery chemistry niche negates the requirement for thermal management altogether. No, I do not. Well, I mean, there are some that require less thermal management. Lead acid used to be pretty good. Yeah, I am breaking up, but this is the point where I need to say goodbye. I have an appointment at the bank in about 10 minutes, and it's about a 15-minute ride across town. So I'm going to go do that and ask them why they put lots of charges on my credit card for no apparent reason. I'll go and sort that out, and then I'll be doing boring things like writing contracts and contracts for contractors, contracts for a contractor, tax forms, making sure that I'm in compliance, making sure that all my insurance and liabilities are in place. I mean, people assume that, you know, Transport Evolved. People either assume that the company is that Transport Evolved is like this big, massive company with lots of people, and I'm just the front woman, or they assume that I'm just somebody who's doing it in their spare time, and I've actually got a day job. And the reality is I've got a day job. Transport Evolved is my company. I own it with my partner, who is also called Kate, but is not the Kate that actually appears in front of the camera. That's a different Kate. So I'm married to an American called Kate.
My best friend is Kate and she's British. That's how you can tell them apart. So if I refer to a Kate who is American, then that is my wife. If I refer to a Kate who is British and sounds very British, then it's my best friend. So there we go. Also, my wife doesn't have dark hair, and she's not half Asian either. So it should, you know, pretty easy to tell them apart. Yeah, Transport Evolved is a growing company, and when you have them, you have to have insurance, you have to have liability, you have to do all of those other things that make sure that you're within compliance. You can't just, you know, it's not just something that you can just do. You have to make sure that you meet regulations, businesses are registered, you're paying appropriate taxes, that you're insured, that any premises you use are within health and safety requirements. Luckily in Portland, there are less requirements than there would be in the UK, but there we go. Thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell people about Take Two. Take Two is this channel. It's the informal channel. You may have seen this on the main channel and come through, but it's the main, it's the kind of the secondary channel. It's where all the fun things happen. It's where the hangouts happen. And you get to find out a little bit more about me and the people behind Transport Evolved, as well as a little bit more behind the other stuff. Maybe we launch a weekly live chat, call it Kate's Having Cake, but I'm Nikki, so that would be wrong. Anyway, thanks for watching. Support us using Patreon, support us by buying something from the shop. There is a new shop coming online soon in collaboration with YouTube, so keep your eyes peeled for that. If there are any new kind of things that you'd like to see in the merch store, let me know. I'll have a chat with the team and see if we can put them in there. Short shorts are gonna stick around. I have only had one person so far tell me that they hate it. Everyone else who's watched it say they love it. So short shorts are here to stay. We're gonna add some new motion graphics for that. And I will introduce you next week to our new hire. So until then, have a great weekend. Tell someone that they're special.